let me take one. Yeah, let's say a developer one joined in an organization. So let's consider, just now we have set up my Git and all, right? Similarly, this is my developer one laptop. Okay, he has this is his laptop. So he started writing some code. Maybe there are three stages are there. There are three blocks are there inside his laptop. Let's consider as part of this Git process only. Okay. So and there is a Git bash editor, sorry, there is a GitHub account. Let's say we are managing our source code for our Android project into this one. This is called GitHub account, or you can call it as source code repository. Source code repository. The repository that you can manage either in GitHub. Currently, we are discussing GitHub. So later we will see Bitbucket, how it will look like, GitLab, how it will look like, or AWS code commit. So like that, multiple things, wherever you can manage your repository. Just this is a, let's say, GitHub account just now we created, and a repository is created over here, right? Let me consider this is my repository, batch 11D. Okay. So let's give this name as repository name as batch 11D is my repository. So maybe there is a readme.md file is there inside this one. Initially, there is a readme.md file. One file is there. Readme.md, md or something. One file is there. So this file, actually developer joined a company and he want to start writing some code inside this repository. Means first he need to get this code to his local. How to get that code? So he will do a clone. So for that, let me draw a line. First, he can do a clone related thing. This operation is nothing but this we can call it as. So the operation will be comes from the central repository to local. He is executing a clone command. This is nothing but the clone command he is doing. The command is actual command is git clone followed by the URL of that particular repository so that he can download that code. Now we did that part. Okay, we downloaded that. So now we went inside that particular folder, and where we can see that code, whatever it is there in this one, I can see that code which is presented over here. Okay, the README file got downloaded. So, but where that README file will store means here it will store initially. The readme.md or something, the file will be downloaded to here. So what are these three blocks? So the first part is called workspace. The second part is called index or staging or index area. Staging or index area. The third part is called local repo or local area. Local area or local repo, let's say. So instead of repo, we can say a local area. That is better term. So this is called the central one. You can call it as central area or central repo. Okay, central repo or the source code repo where you are managing your source code. So currently, whenever you download some code or whenever you pull some code, that will be available inside local area. Okay, and the code which is available in local area, you can able to see that code and all. Suppose let's say you have started writing some code from the scratch. Let's say I have written some file which is called f1, for example. I have put some content which is called welcome. Okay, f1 is one file, and inside that I have put some content called welcome. So once you develop some file in your local, so initially the file will not be there in this local area. It will be available inside this workspace. But how to differentiate that? So currently in this diagram, you can able to differentiate that by placing that file here. But how you can differentiate that part in this code? Suppose let's say currently the readme file, how you can say whether it is presented inside this workspace or this local area means we are able to see that file, but if you are typing git status command, it is not showing any files. Means the files which are presented, and if it is not showing with git status, those things are available inside this local area. So now I'll create a file. Let me create a file. We already discussed how to create a file, right? Touch F1. I'm creating a file with name F1. Now you can see, I can see two files now. Total one is readme file and another one is F1 file. But if you see git status command, so I'm able to see two files means the two files are not presented here. So you can identify where the file is exactly. If you see git status command, your F1 file will show in red color and it will say that untracked files. Means that if it is showing in red color means the file is presented inside the workspace. Okay, by seeing that color indication, you can able to identify that your file is presented in workspace. If the file is presented in workspace, directly you can't able to push this file from workspace to this central repository, this central source code. So you have to move the file from this workspace to this staging area first, and then from this staging area to this local repository or this local area, and from this local area to this one you can push. Means that 1, 2, 3, total 3 commands that you have to execute to push your F1 file from workspace area to the GitHub account. Okay, let me execute one by one command. The first command you can call it as add command. The first command you can use it called add command. The second command you can use it called commit -m command. The last command you will use it called push command. So let me execute one by one command. Okay. So the first command is git is always being used, followed by that exact command what you are trying to achieve. Git add. So here also it is showing, see, use git add followed by the file name to include the files, to move the files from workspace to the staging or index area. Okay, git add following by the file name. Let me execute that command. Once you executed that command, so the file will automatically move from workspace to staging or index area. So let me type my file over here. And we can see the status also. How we can say whether it is moved means you can see the status command once again. Earlier it is showing in green color, sorry, red color, means that it is there in workspace. Now it is showing in green color, means that it is there in staging or index area. So now I want to move my file from staging or index area to this local area. How you can do that part? Git, I told you the command, right? Commit space -m. Commit -m. So within the double quotes, you have to maintain some commit message. So the commit message will be helpful what you are committing, what you are updating actually. Suppose let's say in this commit, I am adding F1 file, something like that I'm doing. So that by seeing that commit message, at least you need to get an idea what is done in that particular commit. Let's say in real-time scenario, developers, they will write, let's say I have fixed this particular bug, or I have worked on this particular user story, Jira story, something like that. They will put some message. Here I'm saying some meaningful name. I am adding an F1 file. So within the double quotes, you can type that message, just click on enter. So once you did that part, so now you can see git status command once again, so that you could not see the file either in red color or either in green color. Means that your file is moved to this local area. Now your file is there in local area. So now you can push this file from here to here. So for that, there is a command called git push. You can see they are recommending that to use git push command. So let's use git push command simply. So once you use git push command, it will push your code, but before pushing, it will show some, it will pop up some UI like this. See, connect to GitHub. You haven't connected to your GitHub account. So first time you have to set your username and password, because it need to know, right, where you are pushing your code, because you also may create one GitHub account. I also have one GitHub account. some other person has some GitHub account. So how it will identify that without username and password? Till now, I haven't provided my username and password. So how it will identify that whether I am pushing to exactly a particular to my account. So for that purpose, you have to log in. So sign in with your browser is there. So, but if I click on that one, already I have logged in my browser, right? So that it won't authenticate again. It will not authenticate. If I log out, then it will ask username and password. Because I already logged in, it will automatically allow me to log in. See, if I click on sign in with your browser, the authentication is succeeded. Then you can see it will push your code. It is completed. 100% your code is pushed from your local to the central. You can see that part. F1 file will be get added over here. Let's refresh your page. Along with readme file, you can see F1 file. And you can see some commit message adding F1 file. 2 minutes ago it is done. So this file was added 25 minutes ago. This file was added 2 minutes ago. Like that, you can see some history as well. Suppose like that when that file got modified and all, you can see those things. So the version control system or source code management system main use case is to track the changes. Okay, let's say the code will be modified multiple times by different people, so that it will keep some track. Who is changed that file? Who is added that file? Who is removed that file? Everything will maintain some track to uh, just to maintain some sync. Okay, who is doing that changes and all. So this is how I can able to push my code. And if I open that particular there are two commits are there in total. So one commit where we have added that initial commit, that readme file is added. So another commit where I have added my f1 file. So each and every commit will get some commit id like this, some I think 8 digit or 7 digit. So it will be very big actually, but they will display that with small also. This is how actually the commit message will get displayed. Sorry, the commit ID will get displayed. But instead of this long one, you can able to use the starting 7 or 8 digits. However, it is displaying earlier, right? So like that, you can able to see 4 and 7. The starting 7 digits also will consider as a correct commit ID instead of keeping the entire thing. So if you open a particular commit ID, inside that exactly what you have made. Maybe I have added one README file, see plus symbol, and I have added some README file. Suppose if I go to my another commit, so if you click on that commit, so you can see one F1 file I have added. The content is okay. I think I have not added any content, right? So the empty file actually. Just now I have added an empty file. Later, if I want to add one more commit, let's say. So currently my, if I see ls command, I can see f1 file and it doesn't have any content. Cat space f1 means it doesn't have any content. So let me add some content. vi space f1 and I'll be writing some content called welcome. Welcome to Git or something. So I'm saving the file. Now you can see the git status command. Again, the file f1 will go to the workspace area because you made some changes to the f1, right? Earlier, it is an empty file. Now you have added some content. Means it is modified and it is there in red color means workspace area. Then how you can push that one? So git add file name, the first command. So now you can see the git status. It will be moved to staging or index area. Okay. So now you can use git commit -m added some content to f1 file, something commit message I am typing. And now if you see git status, I don't see any such file. So means that everything is there in local area. So I can able to push to central repository. How to push that one? So git push command you can use. So once you use git push command, it will push your code to the central. Now you can refresh your screen where you can able to see the total 3 commits. If you go to my code base, so F1 file, if I open, I can see one line of code which I have maintained that is called welcome to Git. Suppose if it is a very big Java program or whatever it is code you have developed, Either it is an YAML file, a JSON file, or some Java program, a .NET program, Python program. So that content will get displayed over here. Okay. So usually developers, they'll use they know the Git. Okay, as a developer also, they need to know the Git so that they can able to use these commands to move the code from their multiple things. Okay, so this is how you can able to contribute some code from his local laptop. Let's say the all this code was developed by let's say my name. It should display my name. Let me show. Yeah, one contributor is there, right? I think where it is showing my username somewhere I can able to see the log. Yeah, I think in the log details, there is a concept called git log. There is a command called git log. So where it will display exactly what commits you have made till now. There are total 3 commits I have made. This is my first commit. Sorry, from last onwards. This is my first commit. And after that, this is the commit. And after that, this is the commit. So the first commit, you can see some commit message. Who is the author? My author is mfunny13. Actually, I did via browser, right? That's why it is taking mfunny13 is my username and some mail ID. It is not the mail ID which we have configured because we haven't committed this actually. While creating the repository itself, it is added automatically, the initial commit. That's why it is showing my username is like this and my mail ID is like this. But later we have added this commit, right? The commit message is adding F1 file, means some new file I have added. So at this particular time, I have added this commit and this is my username and this is my mail ID. Similarly, again, I have added one more commit. This is my username and sorry, not username. This is my name of the author. I want to keep my name like this. So that's why I have configured initially git config command, right? So that git config command will work like this. So git config -- global, we have set some username and mail ID, right? So that will be helpful to see the logging information like this. So who added that commit and all we can see. Currently, we are contributing as a one developer only, as one. So now I'll log into my Linux server. So here I'll start writing some code. Okay, we'll see the difference. Currently it is closed, the putty. Let's right click on that white color indication. Let's restart the session. Okay, so I have logged into my Linux server and here I don't have any content. Let me create a folder called codebase again. Let's say this is a new developer. Okay, actually I am developing the code here also, but let's consider this is a second developer joined in the company where he wants to work with Linux operating system. How you can do that part? Let me create a folder and I'll be going inside that folder. Here I'll clone my repository. So first step will be I should clone my repository to my local, which is already developed code I should get to my local. Okay, if I clone already developed code, I can able to get it first, and on top of that one I have to develop the code. Let's copy this one and place this URL. Then you can see a repository is downloaded. You can go inside that repository and now you can see the content also. README file and F1 file is downloaded, and if you want to see the content on the F1, you can see the latest content also. So but if you see the git log command, you can see the commits which and all be done earlier and all, you can see it over here. So now let me start developing some other code. Okay, so here if you see git config command, this is a different developer, right? If you see git config -- list command, you can't see his username and mail ID. So in order to display proper username and proper mail ID in the logging information, so it will be helpful to set those things. Okay, so git config -- what is that command? Global user dot name followed by my name should be let me providing my name as, let's say the username I'll be using as DevApps. Okay, or let's say my surname I am using. Okay, my name. Let me click on enter. So this is my username, and the mail ID should be, I'll be using some test at the rate 123 or something, test at the rate gmail.com. I'll be using some strong mail ID, and the user dot name, instead of user dot name, here I should use user dot email. So means that now I can see the git config hyphen list, my username, see my username and my mail ID. Once I'm able to see those things, now you can start developing your code. Let's say I'll be developing one more file which is called F2. Okay. So once I develop some code, you can see the git status. Automatically it will be in red color, means that it is there in workspace area. Hey, feel free to stop me if you have any doubts. I'll be flowing in my sync. So if you have any doubts, you can stop me and ask. So currently my code is there in workspace. I'll be using git add followed by that file name. So here I don't want to display again same single file. So this time I want to create one more file also, F3 also, or F4 also. Multiple files I want to move at single shot. So now you can see git status. Let's say I have developed 3 files, or I have modified 3 files. Let's say I'll be adding some content also. I'll be modifying the content also. I'll be developing 3 new files, and I'll be modifying the existing file also. I'll be adding some extra line, second line or something code I'll be adding. Okay, now you can see the git status command. You can see total 4 files. 3 files are newly created. Okay, one file got modified, which is already existed, got modified. Now, if I want to use the git add command, earlier git add followed by file name, right? So now how you can use it? Multiple files are there. You can use like this, git add followed by F2, F3, F4, F1. Like this, multiple file names you can use it. Otherwise, simply you can provide star. If you provide star, it will take all the files automatically. It doesn't require that you have to provide one by one file. Suppose let's say have developed some code. Let's say 3 new files I have created, one file I got modified. So among those, the F1 code part is completed and F2 code part is completed. F3 and F4 part is not completed. Still I have to develop something. Then I don't want to push my F3 and F4 now. Later I want to push that one. Then you can use only F1 and F2 instead of using star. At the time, instead of using star, let's say I don't want to push my F3, F4 or only F4. I don't want to push. At the time, you can use the individual file names like this. Let's say F1, F2, and F3 I want to push, but F4 I don't want to push. Still, I have to develop something with F4. Suppose if you want to push all the things, simply you can use git add dot or git add star. Any one of these 2 things will work. For now, just I want to show you how I'll push only F1 and F2 files. Okay, let me click on enter. Now you can see git status command. So 2 files are moved to staging or index area. Remaining 2 files are still there in workspace only. Suppose let's say now you have developed the F3 code and it is also done. Then what you have to do? Git add F3 you have to do now so that the F3 also will move. So now if you see git status command, my F3 is also moved to staging or index area. Now my F4 files, still the development part is not completed. I don't want to push that one. Then you can commit the 3 files which you have completed the development part, right? You can commit them. Git commit -m F1 modified. In this commit, what I am doing, F1 is modified and F2, F3 are added newly. F2, F3 added newly. So something like this commit message I am using. So means the total 3 changes are doing F2, F3 file newly adding and F1 file I have modified something. Now if you see git status command, so only F4 file is there in workspace. Rest of the 3 files I am not seeing, means those are moved already to the uh, local area. Okay, so now you can think in my central F1 is there. We already pushed earlier. So now my F2 file I have created and F3 file I have created and F4 file I have created. Everything is there in workspace. And later we moved F2 file and F3 file to staging or index area. And we updated some content also inside F1 that is also moved anyway. And it is coming now F2 and F3 to here. But still the F4 is there in workspace only. Okay. So now in this state, if you use git status command, only the F4 which is there in workspace will display in red color. Rest of the things it is not displaying this. It is there in this local area. And one more thing we can do it. I think that is called git log instead of git log. Git log. Instead of displaying this much big output, I want to display git log hyphen one line. If you use this one, here you can see I have added one more commit, right? So this is my initial commit. See, this is my initial commit. Only the commit message and the commit ID, short commit ID will get displayed. Starting the 7 digits of the commit ID will get displayed. So my commit ID, the commit message, the first commit message, my commit ID and my next commit message where I am adding my F1 file. And later I have added some content to my F1 file, right? So then my commit message is displayed. But in the log, I'm not able to see the latest commit which I have did, right? So just now I did one commit also. I executed this one where some commit is, see here. Yeah, here, not here. Let me, okay. This is my Windows laptop, right? I'm doing the changes in my Linux laptop. So that's why I'm not able to see the latest commit. Fourth commit you are not able to see here. That's why I'm getting why it is not displaying that fourth commit. See, in my Windows laptop, if I see, I can see only 3 commits which I made. But in my Linux laptop, if I see, just now I have added one more commit, right? This git commit I have did just now, so that I can able to see the git log now. Git log hyphen one line. Each commit message or commit ID I want to display in one line. So that's why this is the shortcut hyphen one line. Simply, if you use git log, it will display like this in big format. Each commit will display like 4 lines. If you have some 10 commit messages or 10 commits, so 10 into 4, something like 40 lines will display. Instead of that, so git log hyphen one line, it will display some short format. Each commit it will display in one line like this. So if you use git log hyphen one line in my Windows laptop, I can see only 3 commits. But if you use the same thing in my Linux server, where I'm displaying one more extra commit which I have did in my laptop. But until you push this one to the central or until you push this one to the GitHub account, you can't see that one or you can't see that code, latest code, that F2, F3 related code in the central. And the F1 file also should not get updated. You have to do that git push command. And one more thing here, you can see I'm seeing some origin slash main, origin slash head, something like that, right? What is meant by these things? So that we will discuss actually later. Otherwise, I'll give some idea so that so there is a concept called branching concept inside a repository. Inside a repository, we can manage multiple branches. Actually, currently we have only one branch by default will get created. So that is called the main branch. Okay. So the code will be developed in the main branch only. But tomorrow we will discuss more on the branching strategies. So that you can create one more branch as well. Currently, the branch which I am there is main branch. How to know that currently which branch I am? So if you use git branch command, it will show currently which branch you are. I am there at main branch. So if you see the same thing in your Windows laptop, it will automatically show currently in which branch you are. But in Linux, it won't display that part over here. Okay, in Windows, it will automatically display that part in this bracket. which branch currently you are. Otherwise, here also, if you want to execute that command git branch, it will display that you are there at master branch. It will display the output in green color and it will put some star in the starting. So if you have multiple branches, where it will display all the list of the branches, and it will show some color indication and some star in front of the currently in which branch you are. So tomorrow we will create some new branches and we will try to switch from one branch to another branch and all. So at the time we can get some more idea. But now I want to explain what is meant by this origin slash main. Means that up to this commit, we have pushed our code to the central. Origin slash main is nothing but, so up to this, your code is there in the central also. And the origin slash head is nothing but, so currently you are pointing to, you are there at this main branch. Okay, you are there in currently the main branch. By seeing this one, you can identify that you are there at this main branch. Then what is meant by this one? Head slash main means that, so this is my latest commit, which is not pushed to central. If it is pushed to central, so you can see this origin slash main at this place actually. Instead of displaying at this third line, it will display at this fourth line. From the bottom, I am saying third line means from the bottom. Third commit will be from bottom, and this is the fourth commit from the bottom. Okay, so it will display origin slash main in this line if you push this code. Okay, after push the code, I'll verify once again. So let me push. So once you are pushing, earlier it is showing some pop-up and where you need to provide your authentication details, right? Username and password. You are already logged in via browser, so that's why it doesn't ask again username and password. So, but now in your Linux laptop, you don't know what are the credentials you are belongs to this GitHub account, right? So that's why you can use your username like mfunny13 or mfunny13@gmail.com. Both will work. Let me use my username and what is my password. The password you can type, but it won't display anything. So you have to type and just click on enter. That's it. The authentication got failed. Support for the password authentication was removed on August. Choose the personal access token instead, please. Okay, maybe I've used wrong password or something I missed. Let me try to use mfunny13 at gmail.com. I'm typing some password. It won't display. Let's click on enter. I think something wrong. Maybe they have deprecated of using username and password or something. I have to check this. I think I'm using proper username only.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they are using the token-based authentication. Yeah,
Yeah. I think they have
GitHub.
modified.
Yeah, right.
I haven't tried this one. Anyway, I'll try this one. I don't know exactly how to get that token, personal access token.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to get that one. But this is the way. I'm getting an echo. Can you mute? So this is the way of pushing or just working as a different developer, okay, in Linux also. But once it is pushed or once it is authenticated, once you provide some password and username and password, earlier it is allowed, but now I think it is expecting some additional token. Maybe they removed password authentication. I'll check this one and I'll tell you in the tomorrow session. But once you push this one, so you can able to see the latest code in this one. But later, if the other person, like from the Windows laptop, if you are trying to push something, it won't allow you to push that code. Okay, it won't allow you to push that code until you pull the changes. Whatever the changes that you have did in the central, you won't get the changes to your local immediately. Okay, So you need to execute one more command that is called git pull command. Whenever some developer written some code and if he push that code to the central and if that changes are not pulled, so you have to use this git pull command to reflect the changes to my local. Currently, it is up to date. Whatever it is there in central, that is there in my local. So that's why it is not downloading any content. But if other developer, if he written some code or if he push something to this one, so he has added some commits, then you have to pull those changes to your local. After that only you can push your changes. Whatever you have developed something now, you can push your changes. Otherwise, if you are pushing without pulling, it will throw some exception saying that you have to pull the changes from the remote repository. Okay, so that we will see in tomorrow's session once we develop or once we push something at the other developer end. Okay, so that we can see that part. Otherwise, I can do one more thing. I can directly create one file over here. So instead of working as a different developer, directly in the GitHub, I can create a new file. The file name will be, let's say, test.txt or something. The file content will be, let's say, welcome to AWS course or something. Let me use some commit message. I think here, so you should provide some commit message and let's click on commit new file. So now my file is added in the central, right? Directly via GitHub I have added, but it is not a recommended way. In the organization, they will not allow you to directly write some code over here, just as a practice. But this is an option is there, but in the organizations, they will not allow directly like this. They will come via local only. You have to write something to local and then you have to push that code. Okay. So now let's say I am trying to develop one other. I'm trying to create one more file, which is called some sample.txt or something. So now you can see that sample.txt in your local, but which is not available in central. And the text.txt, which is there in central, which is not available in my local. So, but until I download the text.txt to my local, I can't able to push this sample.txt to the central. Let's see that part. So git status command means it will be in red color, the sample.txt which I have downloaded now. So git add dot git commit -m added sample.txt file or something. Then git push. Then you can see the file will get pushed. So sorry, the file will not get pushed. Why? Because I told you, right? So there are some changes are made on your central repository. Until you pull the changes to your local, it won't work. So here they are saying that you have to pull that changes. Now let me pull the changes. So now I can't able to see that text.txt, right? Before pulling. So after pulling, it will download that txt file, sample text.txt file. So git pull. So just use, you can, it will open a VA editor. Just you can save, you can close that editor by selecting colon WQ. Now you can use ls command. See, my text.txt file is downloaded. So now I can push my previous changes, what I did, that is sample.txt file. It will work now. It will push that code now. See, it is pushed. Now if you refresh my screen, where I can see some content, that sample.txt is also added. Yeah, up to this, we will stop our today's session. Any doubts till now? This is the flow actually. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, maybe 2 days we will spend on this Git concept, where we will explain. And one more thing, just you can create one more account for Bitbucket also. You can come up with that. Tomorrow we will start writing some code to that Bitbucket account. Let me. Suppose there is a Bitbucket is there. In how the GitHub is working, similar to that Bitbucket portal is there. So we'll see that one, how it will look like and all. So you can create an account first, Bitbucket, Bitbucket login or something you can type so that it will take you to the login page. log in with Atlassian account or log into the Bitbucket account. Or instead of Atlassian, so let's go. Okay, yeah, this is one only. Atlassian is the company name which they have built this Bitbucket product. Okay, so here first time if you don't have an account, just you can use this sign up for an account button. So you can provide your mail IDs. Maybe after that it will ask some password. So once you did that one, where you can able to log into your account. I already have an account. Let me try to log in and then show you how it will look like. So this is how the Git Bitbucket account will look like. So once you logged in, so there is a Git Bitbucket is there, right? Let's click on that one. It will open the Bitbucket portal and where you can see some repositories which I have created recently. Okay, I don't want to go some suggestions and all. There we can see the repositories. Yes, inside the repositories list, you can see the repositories which I have created for last batches and all. Okay, so here you can create a repository. We can see that part. Okay, otherwise I'll create it. Otherwise tomorrow we'll create that repositories and all. Okay, but you can create a Bitbucket account also, and you can try creating a repository. So then you can see some clone button where you can clone that one to your local, and then you can start writing some code and pushing that code to the Bitbucket. Okay, so the next one, there is a Git lab is there. So just try to create an account in GitLab also so that you will get some idea if you are once you join in a company, if they are using GitLab, so that you will get an idea how you can work with that. So GitLab sign in or sign up, whatever it may be. Let's click on any one of these link. Yeah, so this is the portal where you can log into your GitLab, gitlab.com. So if you have an account, just you can log in with your mail ID and password. If you don't have, there is a register now button is there. Let's click on that one. Provide your username, first name, last name, some username what you want to keep, some mail ID and password. Username you can keep it as your mail ID only, and mail ID is also same. You can keep the both. If they are not allowing mail ID, just you can keep whatever you want. Okay. So once it is there, I want to log into my account which is already existed. Let's click on sign in button, and I'll provide my mail ID. So once I signed in, where I can able to see some UI for the GitLab, this is how it will look like. Where they'll not call that as repositories actually. In Bitbucket and GitHub, they will call the folders that we are creating, right? Those are called repositories. I think in GitLab, they will be calling that as projects. So here you are going to create a new project. Okay, we can create a blank project or we can import some existing project and all. So what will be your project name and all you can define, whether it is a public or private, or you want to have some README file or not. So that you can able to provide and click on create project, it will create, where you can see some clone link so that to clone that repository to your local. So this is how the GitLab will work. So tomorrow maybe we will start working with some, trying to put some code to Bitbucket and GitLab. Same procedure, okay? So either it is a GitHub or Bitbucket, the UI will be somewhat different, but the commands git add, git commit, git push, git clone, everything will be same. Similarly, in AWS also there is a service called code commit. If you want, go that service and you can explore. So where you can create a repository and you can do the same thing. But here the username and passwords you can get from the IAM console. Let's say for a particular user, they will share some different credentials to access with this code commit. It is not like IAM username and password. For code commit, a separate credentials you have to generate via IAM. So from there, you can create a new repository and all. We will discuss that part also if it is required, how to create a repositories and all. Any doubts till now? Up to this, we will stop our today's session. Maybe I will save this one. Save as some image and I'll upload to the Google Drive this also. Git workflow or something, I'm giving some name and I'll be uploading this also to the Google Drive and some Git related document which I have, right? Maybe after completion of the Git, I'll explain. I'll upload this document where you can go and execute one by one command. So I have clearly mentioned each command, what it will do and all. So tomorrow we will discuss more about Git log, Git reset, Git branching strategies, all those things we will discuss in tomorrow's session. Maybe tomorrow and day after tomorrow will be required to complete our Git. We'll spend 3 days. Any doubts till now? Let me delete my server. Okay, I'll keep that server. I'll start working on that one. Why we are getting this issue, I'll just check, and tomorrow class I'll update that. Okay, thank you guys. If you have no questions, so we can close our call. Thank you. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.